Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome. Good morning. Yeah, we see gold rallying up right now. Actually looking more for a buy situation here. As we're still moving out bullish. Not seeing any clean sells at the moment. So I want to see price respect this low. And then hopefully we can start coming down there in a bit. I mean, coming up there in a bit. See, it's coming down. This is a London Open, so I also would not be surprised to see a bigger retracement. Since we have already been moving up. So I want to see if this candle here can close bullish. These create like some form of structure before we start moving up again. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you all enjoyed your weekends. Ready to smash markets. Sarendran, good morning. Got Schwartz in the chat. Hey Vic, how you doing? Thank you, I'm doing well, Schwartz. Frankie in the chat. We got everybody here. Trading, Architect, Luke, Ricardo. Let's get it, boys. So let's see if we can get this break. Hopefully get the break in the next like candlestick. I don't want to get it on this one because this one could still be a liquidity grab. I still feel it's a bit too soon. Good thing about the move is trading with the daily trend right now. We're currently up like 0.60%. So hopefully it chills out for a bit. Like it can chill for a bit here and it doesn't start breaking in the last few seconds. Always the hardest moves to catch when they start breaking in the last few seconds. So let's hope there's gonna be like a stress-free trade. Because right now we're still trading with the trend, correct? We haven't like broken any key levels of structure. As you can see, we're still creating new higher lows, higher low, higher low. So might as well just continue in this direction. Kind of a tight stop loss here by like 29.3 pips. I feel like Goldie's wants to pull a fast one here. Oh, I knew it. Look at that. Like 40. We have about a... How many minutes here left? 34 minutes. Looks like he wants to pull a fast one here. Oh, look at this little bugger. It keeps pushing in the... Come on, Gold. Why are you doing this? Gold's a menace, guys. But anyway, I'm going to get in if we re-break these highs. Oh, wow. All right. So we got the break. Got a nice little SMA over there as well. Usually don't like those last minute type of breaks, but you know, it is what it is. That's just the market. Am I in? Yes. All right, guys. Stop loss to break even over here. Needed to really push from this area. It's a pretty tight range. Basically a break even here. Yep. All right, guys. So gotta be... It's a pretty tight range. You know, that was the issue. That was the issue with this move. Your B got hit. That was a nice shot. That was a nice shot. I was hoping to get a little bit more of a push over here. Once it tapped into that 65. Just pushed up about what, just like 10 pips. The range, you see, the thing is the range here is not so big. This range is only about a like 15.7 pips. That's a problem. When these ranges are very tight like this, it's hard to survive the pullbacks because it's going to have reactions off of these marks. So you kind of just hoping that price is just going to go through those levels. Yeah, it's a tricky one. So it's B for me, guys. Oh, what a exit. That's sniper exit. Sheesh. 1 pip before TP got lucky. Yeah, crazy. Just at that 65%. You know, some trades you just know they're gonna give you a small little speed bump. Some trades you just already know kind of what to expect here. But the thing is, it can't move down. There's nowhere for it to move down. You have like levels of support over here. So if it's gonna move down, it's going to have to it's gonna have to break through these levels. You're just gonna need a candlestick to kind of like just rip through it. Such as that. Annoying thing, it's like, it's just a risky trade now because, you know, it's still at the entry point right here. it could still very well fly up. Could still see a candlestick do something like this. Just like a risky trade, you know? Like every trade is gonna be slightly different. Hey, Fantasy, good morning, good morning. Wow, that was a quick one though. Holy. It's weird. This today I haven't been on the charts for long at all. My first trade came like 17 minutes. I was only on the chart for about 17 minutes. The second trade I've only been on the charts for about 5 minutes. So yeah, it is what it is. Move over to the next. Don't want to take in the additional drawdown. But the market seems directional. It seems like it's currently moving bullish. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candlesticks in a row. Might look a bit parabolic to you, but you know, market can just keep moving up. There's no reason you should sell at this point. Also got the 8 SMA over here on the 15-minute time frame. It's looking pretty good. 15-minute holding candlesticks. VIX stop catching pips so easily. If there's any, let's see, sir, what is 65 and 100%? That's just measuring the size of the range that I want to trade. Man, look at it go. Flipping heck. It was a good position. The problem is like that's the, oh man, that would have been TP right here. Oh damn. Yeah, the problem is the range. I know it's a range thing. Guys, you know, like you got to think of it in a different perspective. You're not the only ones trading these markets. We have people in here who are doing hyper scalping, making hundreds of thousands of dollars off of these small moves. So I know like this is still pretty, that little 10 pip move right here can make someone a shit ton of money. A shit ton of money. So I can't, that's a fear that I had. It's like, you know, this for me, what I think is these hyper scalpers or whatever you call them, like they move the market, right? They also move the market. They create liquidity and they create volatility in the market. So I knew like something was gonna happen. Something was gonna happen. You know, something like how Ricardo did it here. Someone could make so much money from such a small move like that. So technically speaking, you know, it's quite technically sound for the range to get filled up that much. Yeah. Kind of difficult for me in terms of a risk perspective because I'm not willing to take the additional drawdown. And I also wanted to hold it a bit longer. Got like an hour resistance. We're approaching some sort of hourly resistance over there. But hey, you know, congratulations to whoever was still holding that. I mean, if you managed to hold it, you know, that was all you. That was all you. Very well done. Very well done. It's a 1-minute consolidation breakout plus shotgun. Also so good confluence. Close my run. Let's see. Consolidation. Oh yeah, we got a bit of one over here. True. Yeah, that's true. I went all the way to 100. That's the majority of the range has been filled up here at this point. Oh, I missed the first trade I was seeing and I hesitate on the first trade. I was 2 minutes into the chart. I looked from day back to 1 minute. Held execute, but it was really nice. Yeah. And it's the end of Q2 here today, so could be expecting like some kind of like Freaky Friday behavior from the market. Look at the monthly candlestick, guys. Like, it came all the way down, created the monthly wick. It's kind of funny to see it happen on the HTF as well. So this candle did not have the bottom wick. It came, created the bottom wick yesterday, and maybe it still closes up bullish. So it created a bottom wick, still closed bullish. Let's see, weekly time frames coming down. Got a little bit of a fakey situation that happened over here. Boom, at support. Yeah, it kind of looks like for the weekly over here, we could most likely also for the quarter close bullish. Got some really nice range here on the left-hand side. Weekly's creating new higher highs. It is kind of trickling or trying to trickle towards the upside. You can see it's forming new higher highs. Price is slightly moving up bullish there. The range looks good on the weekly. Let's see, daily also looks good over here. Might get a little bit of a fake out situation happen below these lows, and then, you know, price can start heading up again towards that resistance by 33.32. So that's my outlook for the daily. All right, rather for the week, I'm expecting price that we can continue moving up bullish. It does look like we could possibly have some reactions off of these marks, and then price can start to move. And the thing is, like, also if it moves up, we got speed bumps here, here, and here. So for now, it could move up nicely. I guess the tricky thing is going to be, like, once we start approaching that resistance. So hopefully we don't get too caught up in, like, another range such as this over here. You know, that could possibly happen here on gold. And man, that would look quite nasty going into the new quarter, that if we're going to get another range, something like that form. You know, because right now overall gold is ranging. We're just moving sideways. So you got these, like, range inside ranges. Range inside ranges. You can change the color over here. Potentially one here. There's a little fake outs, but you see when the market is ranging, like, most of the time the fake outs are going to be more present, so it doesn't have a lot of room to move. So, you know, you got like one fake out right over here, and you got another fakey that's happening right over here as well. So I think it's a pretty good way to think of market conditions when you look at it from this perspective. So you got to see whether it's like more opened up and more swinging, or either moving more sideways. Now, it can give you a pretty good idea of what to expect in the lower time frames as well. Psychological mark at 3,300. Oh yeah, 3,300. Yeah, I was pretty close to it. Where are we at? Oh yeah, 3,300. True. We're so close to it. We got more than enough room here for gold. If it wants to move up towards like 3,300, there's more than enough room. Planning to sell from 3,300 FVG. All right, so I guess you gotta wait here. You gotta wait. Hey, doctor. Good morning. Morning, tall trader. You still holding this trade? You know, the thing about this trade, it's completely done. I mean, you could look at 3,300, but you see, in terms of the range, it's completed, like from here, from point A to point B. So, you know, that's the thing. We don't know if like price is going to move through that level. But you could try hold it. Monthly is about to flip. Yeah, monthly is it's already been flipping. It's been flipping a few times there. Sorry, Josh. Oh, here for a good time, not a long time. I like that. Hey, Kraken. Nice to have you on stream. Hey, what's up, Shalu? Yes, sir. So now we're gonna see what market actually does. I kind of wish I got a different setup, to be honest, because I knew this one would I knew that range was too tight. We were gonna get some fluctuations. It's perfect. It's just typical market. It's typical market behavior like this. Because the tighter the range, the more chances it can fluctuate down like this and still move up. Typical. Nothing surprising here. I gotta hope we had a bigger range. That's why I was kind of annoyed this candle was pushing up so much. You know, if it closed like somewhere around here, or, you know, something like a little bit more down, can survive the break-evens a bit more. I remember last week saying gold was forecast to break below 3,300. Looking at news, not economic calendar, this week, there's talk gold buyers/sellers are still waiting on the trade deals before moving. Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of anticipation still before we get a movement. Gold hovers near 1 month lows. A fragile ceasefire between Israel and Iran has so far held, reducing fears of a broader regional conflict. Meanwhile, Trump announced last week that the US had signed a trade agreement with China and hinted a very big deal with India will follow soon. Reports also suggested that US is nearing agreements with Mexico and Vietnam, while talks with Japan and many other countries remain ongoing. Let's see. Investors are closely watching key US labor market indicator this week, including jobs data, job opening data, the ADP report, and the NFP. Oh, this is NFP week. True. This is the first week of the new month, which could provide further insights into Federal Reserve rate path. Yeah, exactly. So this is what's mainly moving markets right now. So we got ceasefire between Israel and Iran, which means that less tensions, not good for gold. We got a trade agreement with China, a very big deal, as Trump might have put it. Also not good for gold. You know, not good for gold. The rate cuts, we're waiting for rate cuts over here, but most likely we're gonna get them more in October. So I think the main thing for this week is just to keep an eye on anything like Trump is gonna do, and the tensions between Israel and Iran, as well as obviously we have NFP and the ADP. I think that's it. Abating Middle East tensions and progress in trade negotiations diminish Bullion's appeal as a safe haven asset. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, wow. Look, now it's moving up. Now it's moving up here. Danish said he was still holding. See, you could just hold. You could hold and hope for the best over here. Because, you know, if you've already hit this resistance, then the best thing to do would be put your stop to break even. You see, you would have survived the break even because you have like enough room over here to move. You got enough room for price to move from this point to where your entry is at. So yeah, I think it's pretty nice. Now you're still trading with the trend. Just still bullish. As you can see, huge pump up here. Support. And price is still moving up. So, you know, again, congratulations to anybody who held this position here. If you still manage to hold, amazing. Fly, Goldie. Man, like imagine the amount of RSIs right now saying that price is overbought. Probably been overbought on that RSI since somewhere down over here. And price is still moving up. Still moving up. We're targeting like around, you know, 32.98 now. Break above 32.98. We got some proper range over here. About 200 pips for price to keep moving up. How did you even get a sell trade this morning? Just took what I got. I made a video on it. There's pictures on it on Discord. The information is there, sir. You just gotta use the IYES indicator. Literally. Do you also add HTF like 15 continuations as confluence? Yes, definitely. Like, you know, 15 minute for this trade, we had the 8 SMA. 8 SMA right underneath the candle. We got a kiss of death on the 15 over there. 30-minute, you know, SMA is a bit extended. Let's see, 5-minute. Yeah, I got 5-minute SMAs in our favor in Confluence as well. I think it's a good idea to always use like all time frames. 4 hours still moving up here. You got 2 hours, 30 minutes for candlestick to close. As I said, you know, daily's pretty clean here. It's probably targeting that. Someone mentioned about 3,300 again. So 3,300 has been a key sort of area here in the market. Got 3,300. Let's see if that lines up with anything. Got 30-minute resistance there at 3,300. Yeah, I think that's definitely the key mark. So for the London Open, wow, look at this. Now price has hit 32.96 area over here. Yeah, I think, oh man, look at that perfect reaction. But I think that the London Open fake out was this one right here. This was a London Open fakie. Oh, look at how fast it's coming down now. People are like, I'm secure in my profits. I don't care about an additional 0.5 pips. I'm a secure my profits. But yeah, we got a fake out situation that happened over here. You got some rejection wicks. You have a fake out candlestick bodies in line in confluence with the London Open over here for price to continue moving up bullish with obviously the overall trend currently, which is bullish. Crazy how fast it comes down, right, guys? Crazy how fast it comes down, man. Once profit taking comes into the market, it really pushes the market. I don't know if that's a trading style. I would not be surprised to see a trading model for trading the profit taking, because people are expecting like maybe you got to use like a volume profile indicator here at I'm thinking like an institutional level. If you got like real volume and you can see it coming out, then you're like, oh man, this is like the profit taking, and then you start getting into the sell because it moves like a lot faster. Sellers always move a lot faster. So that could be quite an interesting theory behind why it also like sometimes takes really long to go to profits, and then it can take so much faster to come back to your entries. I know this has happened to everybody here in the chat before, how it can take so long, even if you're in a sell sometimes, so long to get that take profit, but the opposite direction, you know, is so much faster, and you wonder like why that happens, and it's more random as well. But you can use no retail trader will ever have access to that type of data. You'll never have access to that type of data, only if you maybe get employed somewhere. So I think, you know, the best we can do is just like read candlesticks, read price, manage our risk, and just get that experience. You know, I think experience is more important really than anything. Because imagine you right now trading for, you know, a few months. Some of you have been trading for like a year, maybe 2 years. Man, imagine your psychology in year 10. In year 10, how you're going to keep seeing markets behave the way they behave. You're really going to mature. And it's going to show. It's going to show in your trading and the way you speak about things. So this is quite interesting here. Exactly. Look at this. Exactly at the entry level right there. I feel like these things are a lot more obvious to see when you have a mechanical plan, correct? And as I say, you kind of always trying to look for a way to box the market in. You're boxing the market into these high probability zones. So you get to kind of like understand more of how price moves, and it becomes even less random. Because, you know, for a real trader, or if you're still building your system, a lot of it's going to seem random to you. You know, there's going to be a lot of room to play the victim. A lot of room. Because you wouldn't really fully understand the ebbs and flows of your strategy and how it can behave in certain different conditions and what the psychology lying behind that could be. So I would say that's definitely the most difficult part about trading. Honestly, it's getting to that point of where you actually understand what you're doing. Only to blow away the capital in overtrading once market hits 85s. I'm not trading today. I'm gonna do some back testing. Oh, nice. You should do on TradingView, I guess. TradingView or Soft4FX. Pretty nice back testing software. Maybe you already know about it. Yeah, back testing is always nice. Still no sells on Goldie though. In terms of like from a structural perspective. Can we see GJ? Yes. Let's see GJ. GJ is down 0.52%. And for GJ, you know, we're still expecting price to break above those highs by 200 mark. And GJ's got like daily support region here. Got daily resistance up here. There's a market open gap we just filled over here on the open. That was during the Asia. Looks like we wicked up, filled up the gap. Now we're like flirting by daily support. You can see like that 4 hours. So on the 4 hour, it just looks like it's actually accumulating. It's kind of moving sideways over here. See on the 1 hour, little accumulation breakout. Very tiny accumulation over here. It's distributing from this area down towards a support. See 30 minutes. We're expecting some kind of reaction off this region because this is where price pushed up previously. So we can also expect another reaction off of that mark. Let's see the 15 minute, 15, 5 minute. 5 minute looks like it's already starting its retracement. I'm trying to look at correcting this range. It's about like 22 pips, 22.8 pips. Stops below here. Yeah, I think it's a pretty nice move. You know, I was hoping like some kind of move like this on gold, but you see, when it's more of a bigger range, you're gonna have more space to put to break even once it starts moving up there. Starting to break above the 8 SMA. I think we got a... It's not really a pretty one. But anyway, we have like a left shoulder, head, right shoulder situation happening here. So for GG, I'm actually expecting price to move. To keep moving up there. Break above these 8 SMAs and fill up this range. Since we're already at a daily, at a pretty key level of support. And there's no sells until we get a retracement. Fundamentally speaking, let's see what we have for today. Nothing. ECB Lagarde speaks for the euro. Orange folder, but we have nothing to look out for. Hello folks, doesn't seem to be gold threads. Some guys posting their views on currency threads. Oh, nice. Decided to start this thread for gold specifically. Anyone welcome to share their opinions and trades. I wonder who uses Forex Factory. I wonder what kind of audience here. I know people on YouTube. I doubt anybody in the stream right now or in the... Yeah, on the stream uses Forex Factory as a social hub. I really doubt. I think the probability is quite low. So I wonder who uses Forex Factory. What kind of people these are. Looks like we're a very interesting area for price reaction. And they use the old school. Yo, tall trader. They're using the old school charts here as well. Most of the time it's like MetaTrader. You know, MetaTrader analysis. These are the... I always think people who use the MetaTrader for analysis are more like mature traders. These are the mature traders. Look at this. All these charts here are MetaTrader. MetaTrader. Oh, got some harmonics in here. Damn, that looks ugly. How do you even trade this, man? He's got the open and close bars with harmonics. Oh, this is pretty old as well. We're already at 2013. Butterfly indicator, yes. Remember that? That thing used to be so popular in 2020. That harmonics. Forex Factory as a dating app. That's funny. A madman uses Forex Factory. Oh, I do. Troll trader. I'm not. Why am I not surprised? I could imagine your chart over there. Yeah, the only guy I used to know who used MetaTrader was this guy called Uncle Ted when I first started trading. I don't think maybe some of you know who that is. Uncle Ted. He was the only guy I saw, I think, who was using MetaTrader. Everybody just use TradingView. TradingView is so much, I don't know. It's smooth. It's much smoother and easier to do analysis. Even CTrader, I think they tried, but it's still not as nice. But yeah, now we're just ranging chat. I doubt there's gonna be any moves here for some time. We got like a position support area here, and you got a resistance up over here. It's still kind of like spinning. The price action is gonna spin here. I think it's gonna accumulate here for some time now. There won't be any sells below support. Yeah, and there's no buys above resistance. You got some speed bumps here on the left hand side. Because these were the beginnings for me. It all evolves. There were no props, no trading view. As such, you had to use what you had at hand. If your ancestors wouldn't be so shy, you all would be my age too. If your ancestors wouldn't be so shy, yeah, I mean, I think back then people used the other websites as well, like I think Yahoo Finance or something like this. I think they have some pretty nice kind of modernist charts. There was another one as well. I can't remember it. One of my mentors used to use. What does ICT use? Didn't ICT used to use like some other website as well? Not TradingView. There's this other website. I can't remember what it's called. Not TradingView or not MetaTrader. I'm gonna have to start sleeping during London. I'm going to miss your stream. Well, the good thing is you can always rewatch it. It's gonna be recorded as a VOD. Means if your dad and moms had shagged earlier, y'all wouldn't be so young. Yeah, that's true. You're kind of spoiled. People are really spoiled nowadays. They have literally everything. And it's being spoiled. You know it's such a big problem is because they're so spoiled that it's gonna take them longer now, their journeys, because they have way too much to look at. You know, man, when I saw us trading, I was a bit spoiled, but it was not as spoiled as now. You know, back then I could only pick maybe from I think there were only like 2 streamers. I remember when I used to watch like about maybe 2 or 3 streamers, 2 or 3. So I had to focus. I had to pick out of those 3 one guy and listen and learn from him and not mentor hop and really dissect everything, like literally understand everything that they were saying, and then, you know, try and start building a foundation from that point. But nowadays, man, you get like 50 streams. You got like so many streams. So it's become more about just the trades than anything else, man. Back in the days, it was all about education. You know, it was all about education, learning candlesticks, learning price behavior. Now it's completely different, totally different environment. So that's an unfortunate thing. This means that it's gonna take people even longer, though, because, you know, you get overwhelmed with information if you're not good at filtering through it. You have to be very good at filtering through it. So it's easier to filter through it when there's not so much. So you can really see where the value is. You know, it's much easier to see. But yeah, now we're just going to consolidate. That's what I'm thinking we're going to do here. If we're going to go up towards like 3,300, we're probably just going to consolidate. This is like a... We're about... Yeah, if we break that wick about 32 pips away from 3,300. My chart doesn't show candles. The screen just flashes green or red when the candle is bullish or green. That's weird. He used think or swim. Think or swim. Oh, gotta sign in. And now this becomes no trade zone. No trade zone. Oh, trading, you use think or swim as well? Never used it before. $13-year using that? You've been trading for 13 years. Wow. That's crazy. 13 years. Investing. Okay. And what about day trading? Like day trading like this? Five years day trading? It still blows my mind people can trade for... I can see it happening to me, but it's still crazy when I hear people trading for like 10 years, 15, 20 years. It blows my mind. Price wants to move to 33.10. You know, these are kind of ranges that where most of the time I'm typically used to more ranges like this as well. You see this range here is about 17 pips. Usually gold, this year we've gotten so much volume on gold. So much volume that gotten quite accustomed to like 30 pip ranges. But for the most part, you know, before we used to have these little shotgun plays, also like 16 pip ranges, tighter stops as well. Tight stops, like 16 pip stops. I honestly don't want to go back to the old gold market. I'm too used to this one now, but I think with Trump being in power, we're gonna have this market here for a very long time. Okay, nice little 30 pip right here, 30 pip range. I think this is a condition market environment we're definitely going to be in for quite some time. This is really nice. No trade zone, no trade zone. You can just tell the market's about to consolidate. That was the last move. You know, that London Open sometimes is like the last it's the last thing. Last thing, it's like if price has been moving up, then with the London, it could like just be the last buy. Just like last week when we got the last sell, price was moving down. London Open, we caught the last sell, and then price consolidated. So it's kind of like the same thing happening here now. Day trader was not popular and was too risky back there. Yeah, before 2020, I have like I have no idea. I think when I got into it, it was a time that a lot of people were also getting into it. I think it was blowing up more during that time, especially because of COVID. Everybody was at home looking for ways to make money online. So I can imagine even before that, very quiet space. Still a lot of people. I'm pretty sure there was still a lot of people, but quite different. You know what I imagine? I think what used to thrive more back in those days were stuff like robots and EAs and all that stuff, because there was no education. You know, there was no education, so most people were looking at was robots and stuff. Honestly, I wish we could go back to screaming orders in a room. Hey, I still think they do that there in Wall Street to some extent. You can scream on your computer. Just imagine, put on some headphones and put on some ambient music of a trading floor and just imagine. But yeah, it's true. Like nowadays, even if you go Wall Street, you're gonna see most of the traders have been replaced with computers. There's still traders. You're always gonna need traders, but it's not gonna be as crazy. And yeah, nowadays it's like a very lonely game, trading. Get to do it at the comfort of your own house. But you can imagine, like, it's still the same psychology. You know, you're gonna see like key levels, key psychological marks, quarter points, and that sort of thing, and reactions off of key levels. It's still basically the same thing. Imagine the candles screaming. Do you want to come to Wall Street? Yeah, definitely. One time for sure, I would love to just go there. See, trading is lonely. That's why we need Forex Factory as a dating app. Oh, word? You live 15 minutes away. Oh, that's sick. How do I go about RR if my SL is big? You have to manage risk. So if you get drawdown, you just have to look to always reduce the stop loss. My wifey works there with New York time. WW. New York City. Yeah, Trump is crazy, man. Imagine all the buildings Trump built there in New York City, dealing with all those New Yorkers. You know, must have not been easy. Must have not been easy. I'm sure doing business in New York is one of the most difficult things. And Trump managed to do it. Man, if you've seen what happened to Floyd Mayweather, that guy got scammed $420 million. You know, he bought 62 New York apartments, a couple of buildings, $422 million he lost in a scam. Crazy. New York is no joke. And man, that guy, you know, it's just a shame, man. It's just a shame because most boxers like him, they go broke eventually once their boxing career is finished. It's just because, you know, he talks too much about money. He's focused too much on money. He spends a lot of money on dumb shit, you know, millions of dollars on watches. So easy to go broke. Guys, you know, it's so easy to go broke. So easy because, you know, your living standards are going to go up as you're making more money. You know, that's why you're going to have Even like Justin Bieber, man, Justin Bieber should have been a billionaire by now. That guy is probably worth less than 200 million now. You know? Probably less than 200 million. And he owes people millions. So you know how crazy it is. Imagine working your whole life. Someone like that guy, working your whole life, being at that upper echelon to only risk going broke. Keeping money is really difficult, guys. Like for some people, you might think like, oh, you know, like $10 million, that could set me up for life. But your living standards and your expenses, if you're not careful, they just all go up. 50 Cent clowning him still makes me laugh. Yeah, he's so stingy, bro. Also, that's what I don't get. Like 50 Cent also said like Mayweather owed him a couple million and still could not pay back that money. But, you know, could buy like watches worth millions, but could not pay people back a couple million. It is crazy, man. Like money management, like money is such an emotional thing, you know, and it can be very difficult to keep it. So it's much easier to spend it on garbage than it is to do the right things with it, you know, like pay people back, invest smartly. You could imagine people with that much money, they have access to people who can like investment funds, who can take your money for you and say, hey, you know what, let's invest in I don't know, in the Middle East, let's invest in Japan, let's invest in all these countries, right? There are these investment funds which can do that for you, but you obviously have to have a shit ton of money for them to care, and they can like give you really nice returns back on your money, and you know, so you don't have to just focus on real estate. So it's kind of funny that a Mayweather just focused on real estate, and he just wanted to go heavy on real estate when he had access to all of these investment funds who could have taken his money and invested all around the world for him and build him a nice portfolio. But you know, they say it's like a curse, you know, it's a curse. You can make the money. It's easy to make the money once you have a skill, but keeping it is always very difficult. Apply TFX management in your pockets as well. Yeah, I mean, like, you just have to be humble, you know? That's the only way you can actually really keep money. So don't get too caught up in the social media hype and everything like this. You never know, man. These guys, we're starting to see it happen more and more often nowadays. All these people that maybe you look up to and you're like, oh man, you know, I wish that I had that life. Hey, who knows? Maybe next year we're gonna be talking about them. We're gonna be talking about him and how they ended up in a really shitty situation because they were not humble. You know, so for me, it's always been about staying in my lane. Ever since I started trading, always to stay in your lane. What is it? Social media is trash. Yeah, it can be very tricky. You know, it's crazy the amount you pay in New York City. You could live like a king in another country, like a third world country. I guess the trick would be to earn the same salary here as you would in another country. That would be the only trick. But the amount I'm sure you pay on rent and living expenses, you could probably live in a mansion, have maids, have like literally everything in another country, which is probably a good country. Also, not a shitty country. Doesn't have to be a shitty country. Most third world countries are actually quite developed. Once you're on the ground, you start to realize like, or not most third world, but you know, the quite nice ones. Once you're on the ground, you start to realize that, man, like living, you know, you get even fresher food, more food, fresh food, no GMOs, better weather, nicer people because people are more humble. You start to realize like a different perspective. But yeah, I think that's why it's good. Trading is good. You can basically live anywhere and still earn similar income. Imagine that. 4,500 rent. I'm sure rent in New York City for the cheapest place is probably like $2,000. Like literally just one room. Probably like $2,000. New York City, 4,500, just one room. Oh yeah, I mean it's probably going. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be going up and up and up. That's true. Last time I saw it was like a year ago or something. I watched this one guy who was paying like around, I think like $2,500, maybe $3,000, really tiny room. Then you got the skyscrapers over there where people don't even live in them. Like very multi-million dollar skyscrapers, apartments, and nobody lives in them. They're just kind of like empty. But that's what they think. They think this like all this stuff is like an investment, you know? And it varies due to places. Varies from the barrel. The barrel you're at. How of a McDonald's worker in... Yeah, that's true. How much does a McDonald's worker make in New York City? If rent is that much. Man, McDonald's workers are working like politicians and they're earning like politicians in other countries then. Geez, 2 out of every 3 advertisements I see now are young folks wanting to tell you some kind of trading scheme. Don't fall for them, guys. Most of them are scammers. Yeah, I mean, like, that's true. That's true. But you should definitely go through, when you go through social media, just in anything that you do, you know, it's not just trading. It's not just trading. It's anything. It's real estate, whatever business idea that you want to get involved in. There's always going to be like some sort of like thing that you have to look out for. You just have to be smart. Like take things slow. Don't be like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather went all in. 420 million. Holy. Holy moly. There is only one course you should do, that is TFX course. Yes. But when I lose, then TFX course is not good. But seriously, like what you're learning on this stream, you can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong that you're learning here. You're learning how to read candlesticks. You know, at the end of the day, it's just like, it's all about understanding how price moves, correct? And then if you want to get complicated with it, then you can do that at least afterwards, after you built your foundation. Because you know what happens is people who start with, let's say, a complicated trading system, what's going to happen is when it stops working, it's there's nothing to fall back on. You know, it's just like, shit, you know, this is it. Let me throw everything in the trash. Like, it didn't work. Nothing to fall back on. So you waste like a lot of time. And then you like, and then it doesn't work. It doesn't work out. Now you get discouraged. And usually that's when people start to take breaks. Then they'll come back, start learning the right things. Ready to buy now, up 3,300. Ready to buy up. Price is moving down. Kind of risky. So you got a falling knife over here. New York is too busy. $20 per hour. In New York. $20 per hour. And move this down here. In the 1 minute, we can kind of see it a little bit better. The consolidation. Negative monthly RR would mean it doesn't work. No, it can still work. It can still work. I mean, just think about it for yourself. Like, do you think... I always try and imagine like a scenario where if I'm working with an investment fund, like, are they taking my money based off of risk rewards? Like, just try and think outside of the norm of what you know about markets. Because what you know about markets is very retail orientated. So just try and like imagine how an investment fund would take your money and invest it for you. Like there's so many ways to look at risk, you know. Risk is the only thing that we actually have control over. So the trick and the real sauce is in the risk. If you look at any of these hedge funds, I'm sure they'll tell you the same. The real trick is in managing the risk. You know, and I think that can even maybe sometimes, yeah, anyway. So the way I'm thinking about this thing is, let's say you're a hedge fund A over here. You're basically thinking how to take money from the other guy. That's basically what trading is all about. Is how you're going to take money from the other guy. Like, what can you see that the other guy cannot see? And then you're going to look at risk from that different perspective, right? It's a process. It's a process towards executing a position, but also understanding, you know, how your trades can play out. What's the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario? It's all about having a sort of like almost a statistical edge, whereby you're just gonna let the math of what you know play out in the long term. Like, just keep doing the right thing. You know, that's why I like to think about trading like blackjack. Blackjack, if you can count cards, it's more a statistical edge thing, right? There's nothing more to blackjack. Blackjack is actually the most 1 + 1 = 2 thing, right? If you're good at counting cards, you know, you get a more lower cards on the deck. You're gonna have, let's say, a +3 count, right? So anything above +3 means you have like a higher edge in the market. There's a higher chance that a higher card is gonna come onto the table next. Anything above the +3 count, the true count, right? So that's when you start betting big. So it's all about statistical edge. Whereas now when you look at something like poker, for example, poker has more to do with psychology. It's more about reading the room and understanding your opponent. Correct? So trading just comes like right in the middle of these two things. You have your playbook on one hand, and you have the psychology on the other hand. So, you know, from a retail perspective, for us retailers, we mainly have to rely on sort of like a blackjack model of just statistical edge. Because if we're doing the psychology, we can understand about candlesticks and price movement, and we can break it down like how we normally break trading psychology down. But the truth is, we actually lack the information. We lack the true information. We can't get access to that information of what people are really doing. You know, so we can, based off of experience, most of the time, like speculate based off our experience and how candlesticks behave, the psychology behind them. And it's also going back into the statistical edge of what happens when, let's say, we move from point A towards point B. All right, statistical edge means we're going to have a reaction off of this. That means the move is done, right? But we can put our own psychology and say there's also profit taking happening there, because there's a pretty good chance that's also profit taking. Because whenever markets have a move, somebody is making money from this move, right? And you have all different types of traders in the market. You're going to have people secure along the way. And as we start to fill up structure, there's a higher chance a lot of positions are also going to get secured. So that's when I think like psychology really comes into play. Like, this is from a retail perspective, because we can't compete with these guys on that higher level. We just can't. We don't have that information. It doesn't matter if you're trading orb or ICT order blocks, or you got the volume profiles. You cannot. You're going to lose that fight. You know, so I think that's the best thing. That's the best thing I can explain to you. Retail's mentality. So you want to focus mainly first on this, and the psychology aspect of it. All that confusing stuff is going to come much later on. So just get profitable, because you don't need to be a genius in trading to make money. Like, a lot of people don't even have that in-depth knowledge about markets, but they still make a ton of money. Correct? Because they have their statistical edge. You don't need to have this part. All you got to do is be more disciplined to follow your rules. Not over trade, not over risk. Like, just the basic foundations. And then when you get bored, like, most of this other stuff is just going to come. Because I think, you know what, sometimes is that we overcomplicate our trading. You know, we overcomplicate because we're listening to people who've been doing it for a very long time. So you also feel like, oh man, so this is how it should be, and it should be this complicated. But it could be just a matter of them having more experience, that they have more capacity to talk about other things. But the truth of the matter is, it's that statistical edge which we mainly rely on, at the end of the day. It's crazy how different charts look when you master the psychology. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. Once you master psychology, like, you can do anything. Like, for me, if I wanted to, I could really make it as complicated just so it looks professional. But at the end of the day, it'll just be unnecessary. You know, it'll be just very, very unnecessary. We can get all those indicators, like the volume indicators and that, and we could still use them as confluence, and they probably could still work to some extent, right? But if you strip all that away, it's just going to come down to a very basic aspect of looking at the markets, because, you know, at the end of the day, it's either moving upwards, sideways, or bearish. So you can paint all the pictures that you want here, and it will still move in any direction. Yeah, it'll still move in any direction. Somebody could still catch that trade with even a Fibonacci, whereas you use all the confluences in the world. But the key is to have it consistent, and at least that it makes sense to you. You know, at least you're already profitable and it makes sense to you. That's why you can have someone trade Fibonacci and be profitable, trendline and be profitable, and all these systems and be profitable. Thanks, Vic. That's why I'm here. So we just try and keep it as simple as possible. Don't overcomplicate anything. I think it's usually nice. People with volume candles and order flow make us feel like they are big players. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It was lucky though. Couldn't also have gone wrong as well. I will buy on the break. Bro, Undertate says the same things. The money you want, everyone wants. The girl you want, everyone wants. Are the FX top G. Oh, the money you want, everybody wants. The girl you want, everybody wants. I don't think you should be focused on chasing girls. Because, you know, if you have the money, basically you're gonna have everything else. So why waste time chasing a girl? You know, and I think at the end of the day, honestly, when you find yourself like a purpose, the purpose counts more than anything else. Like, it's just like grinding. You know, in the beginning, you want to have all these things. You want to have the cars, the mansions, and everything. But, you know, once you get it, you don't feel as satisfied anymore. You know, once you achieve what you wanted to, that's materialistic, you're not going to feel anything. You know, it's an anti-climax, basically. So that's what I would explain what trading is. So in the beginning, you want all the rollies, you want the Patek Philippe's, you want all of this stuff. But once you actually get to that point, it's anticlimactical. You realize that it's not as, it doesn't make sense. You know, you've actually found more enjoyment throughout that journey than you have through achieving what you wanted to achieve. You know, the end of the journey is always the saddest part. You gotta enjoy the journey more. And that's when you're gonna stay consistent, you know, is you just keep focusing on your grind. Vic, did you see the meme I posted? When you see a fine woman, but you don't have game, try TFX chat up lines today. Say TP, secure the number, SL. If you meet resistance, walk away. Disclaimer, just because a strategy works for others doesn't guarantee results. I don't get it, chat. When you see a fine woman but you don't have game, try TFX chat up lines today. Be secure the number SL if you meet resistance. We just need to enjoy the journey. Used to work for JP for 6 years now, doing it for myself. It's way more fun than making it for the bank. Definitely making yourself money is the best. There is no World War III. If those kids could read. Oh, these are old memes here. What's JP? What's JP? JP Morgan? JP Joshua's pub. Yeah, those guys are smart. At that level is it's a whole different ballgame. Guys are super smart. At the end of the day, they are taking risk. Nothing is 100% guaranteed in the market. But I think it's just their level of due diligence. The only thing I miss, the data we used to have. Yes, their level of due diligence is on another level. And also psychology. I think it's also really psycho. Even if you have the data, you know, it's only... Hedge fund is only as good as how good you are at analyzing the data. Because most of the time, the data is publicly available. Like anyone can access it to some extent. You know, getting the data, once you know how to acquire that data, then it's about how to analyze it to make some money. And then the psychology of what your opponents are thinking. Vic Adversary's question. Today trading Asian session when market hit low, the Xauusd app didn't allow me to place a buy order. I could place a sell, but on clicking a buy, it said cannot be processed. Is this something that bigger players or the market controls to not let you place an order? No, I think that's probably a broker, right? It sounds like a technical difficulty thing. Now your broker was maybe not having access to those price points or something like that, you know. They get their they have liquidity providers, and depending on liquidity provider, maybe their liquidity provider could not give you that price point. Sometimes it happens. But if it's happening like too frequently, you know, that should rarely happen. So if it happens a lot, then it's not good. I think learning a lot of strategies at first messed me up, because when I see a move, I start to think about the other strategy. Oh. Yeah, you start to think about the other strategy. True. It's like you gotta pick one. So for me personally, I have a few plays. I got my consolidation, I have my swing entry, and these two could happen at the same time, right? But you want to focus on just one for the session, whatever it is that you want to focus on. You can have multiple playbooks, but just at least spread them out to when you think you'd want to be trading them throughout the day. So that's what I typically do. And I just focus on one, because if you start focusing on 2 or 3 over here, then you're going to kind of mess up, because you're giving the market more reasons for you to get into a position. The more plays you have, the more trades you're going to end up taking. But if you got like one play and you focus on one play, it's going to take longer for that play to show itself. And that's kind of what you want. You want it to take time. You don't want your setups to usually come very quickly. So when you build a system, you want one that takes time. I think we just got a small little sell over here. This is a small little accumulation play. It's quite a nice one as well because it's at the top of the range. So you see markets just moving sideways. So basically look at this. You see what happened here? Shot up. It's another accumulation here. Shooting down. It's not going to be perfectly drawn, obviously. But you can see it. That's a distribution. That's a distribution. And there's also one here, but range is quite small. It did break below. Pretty big stop loss. Came down towards support. But you can see it. Do you see the matrix? Do you see the matrix? Trading is quite simple, guys. It's very simple. It's just it's the hardest way to make easy money, as I say. A shotgun and consolidation in 1 minute just played out. Yes. Yeah, we're just getting a consolidation here now down towards support. So it's just bouncing between the ranges. So that was it. Now we're going to accumulate. I think what's happening is we're thinking about 3,300 ceiling over here. So accumulating orders. So next time that we break, can potentially start heading towards that 3,300 ceiling and beyond. 3,300 and beyond. Or maybe we're going to start to have a reversal here if we break below support. I think for me, the strategy of price action works well. Yes. That's what's going to work. That's what's going to work. That's all that we have. Our candlesticks. We got 2 strong USD short term. Yeah, we got quite a weak US dollar here, correct? I think most markets look like they're retracing here on Monday. Towards the end of the quarter, we're getting, you know, AUDs pulling back, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, euro, pound. So these are like candles about to close. So we're getting quite interesting volume as well. Not a typical like Monday type of volume over here. You can really sense that it's to do with the quarterly candles about to close. It's creating such an interesting volume profile over here. So US dollar is doing quite weak. We're seeing gold move up. Pound is also retracing. Moving down bearish. But we should get quite a lot of fireworks this week. We got a, let's see, Tuesday, Bailey speaking, Powell speaking. Already on Tuesday, damn, Powell speaking again. I don't know, I expect him to be speaking again this week. He spoke like 2 times last week, right? Got Wednesday, non-farm payrolls. I mean ADP, and then, yeah, the non-farm payroll on Thursday. Why is that not on Friday? Usually it's on a Friday. I guess it's because of the USD bank holiday. It's quite interesting. USD bank holiday, so it's been moved up here Thursday. So we're gonna have NFP on Thursday, USD bank holiday on Friday. But it's looking pretty good for us though. In terms of London session, we have nothing to worry about. New York session, they got quite a few fireworks here. They got a few red folders. Oh yeah, 4th of July. Got the 4th of July on Friday. Only thing I personally need for USD strength is UJ. Yeah, U and UJ. I've never seen that correlation, but I guess, you know, if you like that correlation and it works, awesome. You should definitely have it. You should definitely have it. Let's see what DXY here is doing. DXY kind of bullish at the moment. It's like a doji. It's currently bullish. But the dollar weakness is really coming in here. And we got Trump already undermining Powell's authority by naming the next Fed chair. Already wants to replace Powell, I think, what is it, next year? But definitely the dollar does not look good. Dollar looks like it's going to be coming down here. It's distributing from this area. You know, the tricky thing about the macros and trading at a macro scale, you know, the hard part is the long-term, these long-term trades, you know, the longer you're in the market, is giving more time for macros to also shift. So this is quite interesting perspective. You think from like a banking standpoint, you know, like when you take a really good position based off all this due diligence that you did. So you're waiting for those trades to mature throughout the year. And it's another thing, you have to always focus on the ever-changing market conditions. You know, as price starts to retrace, oh, what's happening here? Does your initial analysis still hold some sort of substance? You know, that even with a shift, that it can still keep moving down bearish. So it's like a completely different thought process, imagining on a large scale like this. You definitely need more ideas which are linear. Like as linear as they possibly can be. Not these little fluctuations where it's like, oh, Trump says something today and then he could say something tomorrow and that changes the whole structure. But can you toggle between different timeframes while keeping your drawings on FX? No. Each time frame is separate window. Yes, that's the thing. Or maybe you can, but I haven't figured it out. I usually just have those levels in mind when I'm doing the backtesting. So if it's like a 15-minute zone, I'm like, okay, you know, we got a 15-minute zone over here. Then I kind of look at the number. Let's say if it's at a resistance like this, I would say, okay, 3300.64, and then go on the lower time frame, and then you can just like draw a line there. Or you can just look at the structure. Sometimes also the structure would just make sense with where the 15 could be. Damn, that sucks. Yeah, it's old school. My approaches are a lot safer than yours most of the time. Yeah, I mean, my approach is 1 to 2 trades a day. Doesn't get any safer than this. Now I actually have to use my brain. That's a good one. All men know this is a nice morning. Hey, Crack, didn't you say you're not trading anymore? What is this? Couldn't resist? Oh, this was yesterday. This was yesterday. No, you took one here today. Ethereum. Let's see. Time will determine whether gold is finally retracing back into the range. I like this perspective. It's a nice perspective. In terms of a long-term hold, if you're scaling into positions. Because this is, you see, this is what I mean. Like, this is more of a linear. This is more of a linear idea, which I think if you're trading on a huge institutional like macro level, You want these kind of like linear type of markets. Like gold is one of those linear type of markets, always moving up bullish. It's just about getting the entries. Oh, like for the most part, the stock market as well. Stock market's quite linear. It's just like about getting the entries. I saw this thing where you could bet on rate cuts as well. Apparently, you can bet on the Federal Reserve rate cuts, which I think is pretty nice. You can have a pretty nice hit rate because most of the time they're keeping it at no change. Keeping a no change. You see, we've had no change all year. It's similar to last year. We're probably gonna get the rate cuts towards the end, similar like last year. But it's getting really heated from September. September is going to be quite an interesting FOMC here. Because if it's not September, the probabilities are really going to increase here for October, December. So the next FOMC in when's this going to be? Oh, that's going to be for July 30th. July 30th, we're not expecting much. Most likely going to be a no change as well. So not too focused on this one either. But let's see, Powell's been speaking a lot of late. More hawkish than expected. Good for the currency. No trade zone. The market gave me last chance before monthly end. A trade. Accumulate. Accumulate. Where is Goldie going to go next? Can't come down. It's too much support here. If it moves up, it's moving based off of higher time frame analysis. I think it's taking a small break. It's showing a bit of an exhaustion candles on the 1 hour at least. Starting to form a lot more wicks up here. It looks like it wants to tumble. It kind of looks like it wants to start rolling over. But we're at a sort of resistance here on the hourly. So very important key area that we're currently sitting at. So, I'm not surprised actually that we're ranging right now. Because, like when you think about markets and what they like to do before breaking levels or retracing, they can consolidate, and then get those orders to break above highs or start rolling over. For me, it looks more like it wants to move above. It wants to break above this zone. So it's just going to get as many orders as possible because I don't see any sells, at least not below some kind of support here by 32.85. Because we got a bunch of like other support levels here to worry about. You have here, all the way up till this point. Massive consolidation. So this is the playground, correct? You gotta look at this and say, how can I catch a trade in this range? Is it possible to catch a trade in this range? Maybe on the 1 minute time frame. On the 1 minute, you could get away with something here. So remember like that reel that we made, I think it was on the weekend, of how you can catch moves within the ranges. It's a similar situation over here. So we already had a sell. We had the buy that we took, and then we had a sell. Yeah, similar to this. See this? Same market condition. There's nothing different here. You can see the market move sideways. This is the hardest structure to trade. You see, sometimes you gotta look at this and you're not gonna see any structure. Then you're gonna investigate the lower time frames. Then you're gonna see something. Like price is gonna hit through that level quickly, and you sometimes you get a bit worried. Yeah, that's it. That's the same structure here. That's the same structure. Have you heard of Richard Wyckoff? Yes. Wyckoff is what that's what Space trades. I think that's why he's still that's why he's still trading. Hey, Space man, you trying to get me copyrighted? But yeah, that's what Space trades here. Wyckoff. Gold 1 minute left and UJ 15 right side. Clear short-term dollar strength to see. One can add EU and GU maybe, and then you have a good portion of DXY there. What time frame is this? Oh, this is 1 minute. 1 minute and 15 minute. Why does yours look different? Okay, I see the fake out. Price came down. Yeah, alright. Wank off.
We don't do that here.
Hey, what's up, HD? We got Frankie at top place here. Joshua's just slightly behind. Slightly behind in third place. We got Tall Trader here at second. But you know, Joshua's just his Lewis Hamilton. Joshua's Lewis Hamilton. You know, he's holding back right now, but any moment, Frankie. I think the algorithm really likes his account. He's got the nice car. Is he the better driver? We don't know, but he's got the nicer car. Let's see. Yeah, probably not going to be any... Let's see. Maybe from here to here, this range is, what, like 15 pips? I think the stops are going to be too big. Way too big. Below support region here, that's going to be like, you know, 40 pips. Yes, range is not worth it. It's too risky. It's a bit anticlimactical. It's kind of hoping that we'd be getting a little bit more market movement. But let me see. Since the Asia session, we've moved up quite significantly already. This has been about 500 pips. That's pretty much already a daily candlestick on gold, 500 pips. I'm trying to think if it's trying to accumulate. You see, it's gonna... I suppose, like, once it starts breaking, it's probably gonna break with volume from this point. Once it breaks below that support region there. Because if you strictly look at it from, let's say from like a 5-minute perspective, you're obviously buying into a crappy zone. This is a crappy zone, but I think the idea behind this is that it's moved already so much up and it's accumulating orders over here, so it can move with volume past these levels. That's the only thing like I could justify even a trade, to even think about even taking a trade. But you definitely want to see like a strong push once it breaks below these zones. Tricky thing is like if it starts to come back up again, you know, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. I think we had that market last week. I don't know, I think it was on Thursday or something. Price was accumulating. We were down like 1% plus 1.50% as accumulation, and then it broke and it came back up aggressively. But I guess here it's a bit different because we moved up. We're up 0.50 and the break would be to the downside. Whereas last time's price action, price was already down like negative 1.50%. So this one probably has like a better shot at actually giving a distribution. You see now it's breaking here. So that's now I'm actually expecting volume to be coming in at that point. Just completely dump. That's the only angle that I see. Got tight ass stop loss as well. Could get away with a 13.6 pip stop loss in there too. I'm not going to take this trade. But this is what I'm expecting that the market's going to do next. Oh, and it's not breaking yet. Let's see if it actually gives that push. $30 also looking kind of good. A little bit of a market fade situation. I guess the 30-minute looks clean. Expecting it to move on the higher time frame. You don't have any structure here on the 30. Breaking below previous hourly lows after showing some sort of exhaustion as well. So you got a few rejection wicks here. Like a doji candlestick. You see small candlestick body. A little bit of exhaustion in here. Rejection of the hourly resistance. Breaking the lows. Yeah, just in terms of the price action, just reading the naked charts, that's what it makes the most sense. Hey, want to ask all JPY pairs, AGJPY, blah, 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 move the same? Why choose GJ and ignore the others? Because, you know, first of all, gold is going to give me most of the time an entry. Every single time and every day I can get an entry on gold. So I don't need to really look at much of anything else. And also, you know, GJ, I've been trading GJ for a long time, so I'm kind of used to trading GJ. I'm kind of used to the way GJ moves. Plus, I like stress-free trading, you know. I like to come onto the charts, you know, focus on one pair, finish my day in like a few minutes. I don't like going through watch lists, you know. Like this is going to be something then it's going to be additional for me on my trading routine. Is to now see, oh, what's this gonna do or what's that's gonna do. I just love to come, like literally this is my trading routine. I wake up in the morning, I sit down here, I open gold, that's it, and then maybe I get my trade in a few minutes, maybe in an hour, maybe in 2. But at least I have the opportunity to catch a move every day on gold. Because you know, when you start doing it for full time, it can get very exhausting to go through the watch list. So I'm quite fortunate enough to have a strategy which works on just one pair, even if I wanted to. Tempted to buy again here though. We didn't even break these lows. Look at how close we came to breaking it. Barely broke it. Come on, Goldie, dump it. My strategy is buy high, sell low. But how do you know what is high and what is low, sir? Oh, nice flipping and breaking below support. Yeah, if you buy high, sell low, you know, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky because, you know, if like price moves up like this, that could look like a high to you. You know, this could look like a high. Oh, what's a high? If this is not a high, then what's a high? Because this is a high here, and that's a high here, and that's a high here, and that's a high here. So how do you, this question now of like, how do you determine what's high, what's low? Because you think that's high, boom, it pushes. You think maybe this is high. This could also be a low. All-time high, I buy all-time highs and sell all-time lows. Hey, you could have made a lot of money on oil during COVID. Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, that's the thing. That's the thing about gold. Gold was at all-time highs almost every day. Almost every day, and it kept moving up. Over here, as it was breaking above. I remember there's this time when a lot of people were really trying to aggressively sell gold, but it just kept moving bullish at the all-time highs. It just literally kept pushing and pushing and pushing like every day. See, all-time highs. It's ever since we tapped into 3,500, we've just broken into a consolidation. So you could even imagine like 3,300 was a psychological or even institutional mark. Over here, 3,500. So you can imagine like if the banks and everybody has their eyes set on 3,500, price is going to get to 3,500. It doesn't need to stay at 3,500. It's going to tap into it. And then now we can accumulate. Just the same way as the pound had quarterly targets on the pound. I think the banks were targeting like quarterly marks over here. This was something, if you were watching the streams like from very long ago as price was moving up here, this was from, you know, as price was moving up here, then you see we've been talking about this quarterly target over here on GJ was to move up. We had this sort of like range, and ever since we like started pushing towards that area, it just completely stagnated. But it was losing a lot of steam as well, pound, because of the summer rate cuts. That's when the initial dump came in. But yeah, since 3,500, man, Goldie's just been consolidating heavily over here. Let's see what that did. Oh, not bad. It did like a 1.5. 1 to 1.5. So far in that breaky. This is like a purely breakout. That was the only thing that I could have seen. You know, besides this other entries that happened all the way up over here. I had one happen over here. Top of the range. The second one. That's like the tail end. It's catching like the second move. Got one sell here, another sell here. But it's kind of like the same thing, right? You got price move like this on a larger scale, and you got price move like that on a smaller scale. Larger scale, smaller scale. You also had it here for the buys that we took. Not as clean, but you know, it's still there. In line with our swing entry model as well. Yeah, now that's distributed. This might be the first real 90 level test. Godspeed. Any plan for today, Vic? Yeah, we took a buy here already, but got stopped out at BE. For there could be a next round of buys coming in a bit. Like it should create some form of structure down over here, and there's a pretty nice range that's about like 32 pips up towards 32.94ish area over here. You got tall traders already getting buys. I don't know where he puts his stop losses though, but yeah, he's expecting that price is gonna move up there. Let me see on the 1 minute. 1 minute? No, it's not formed enough structure for me. I would still need to see at least some form of structure there on the 1. Tall trader's got a machine gun. I got a pistol. I got a pistol with 2 bullets. Now on 89. Oh, now you move your stop loss to 89. Nice. Yeah, I got 2 bullets in my sniper. Just tuned in. Do you see a reversal or continuation? I say like a small little push here, a small little retracement. For the continuation, we gotta wait. You gotta wait and see because there's already a sell over here. There's some sells here already. This tall trader getting his profits out the market here. He just secured something. In and out. GJ is very serious to go up. Yeah, I think GJ if it can break. Ooh, but there's so much resistance here. There's so much resistance. Reel that Suka in. Now would be nice buys again. This is not financial advice. Yeah, you know what YouTube is becoming? YouTube is becoming so many ads nowadays. I've noticed like their advertising is getting quite aggressive. It's getting quite aggressive and they'll always require you to have disclaimers now. I feel like. So you know what YouTube is going to become? It's going to become you're going to watch an advertisement for maybe 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. And when the video finally starts, you have to get through the disclaimer, which is going to be like maybe, a few seconds over there. And once the disclaimer is finished and you're just ready to start watching the video, another advertisement's going to come. That's what YouTube, that is the path that YouTube is heading down towards. We seriously need something, something like YouTube. Something else like YouTube. They wanted to shake off the early buyers like you. Yeah, look at this. This candle here is like 23 pips. I don't know if this is shaking off any buyers. It could be a continuation to the downside. Now that's shitty. Doctor, wait until they put ads on shorts. You gotta watch a 30-second ad to watch a 30-second short. That's the path these things usually go down. Once things get like very bureaucratic, it always goes even, like it always gets more and more aggressive. Yeah, this looks like a small little break and retest. But you see the sellers here are actually still protected. They have their stop losses above these regions. So yeah, we still haven't taken those out. Nice little SMA confluence in there as well. That was literally the only thing that made sense to me. It was like price is just accumulating and it's trying to break out from this area, I suppose. Or at least it had already one move. Sellers make money over here. Got buyers like tall make money here. If you're trying to be right, it's kind of hard to be right because, you know, as much as it looks good to come down, it could very well also just move up. The question is, did you make money there? I think the real buys will come around to 32.81. Any bullishness now will just go below the highs and fake outs. I think the real buys would come above. You said 32.81. I think like 32.91 here. That's if price doesn't keep melting off. You can break above this area. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to catch a falling knife. You're saying 32.81. But it's crazy because if you think that price can even come down to 32.81, why not look for a way to catch a sell? Because you know what could happen? Price could come down to 32.81, consolidate here, and then continue to move down bearish. So that's like you're sort of trying to speculate, you know, you're trying to catch the market. You're trying to see like, okay, if it comes here, I'm going to buy. You're trying to outsmart it. If it goes here, I'm going to sell. Rather than just focus on what it's currently doing. Because, you know, if you get into a position and price starts to pick a direction and you can get an entry, you see market should be more intentional at that point. So you can see, for example, like how it just kept moving up over here. So once you get your confirmation, it should be more intentional towards the direction. So you got like a pretty big support region over here. You got some support areas. The only clean range I see is for price to fill this area up on the left hand side. If it re-breaks that wick, stops below this area, that's when I think at least some buyers should be coming in, because that's when the sellers should also be coming out from that 1 minute play over here where the stop loss was above. So we should be basically taking out the sellers whilst the buyer is coming back in. Which in turn is also going to be an accumulation over here. Going to be another accumulation. You can already see it on the 1 minute. And then this is like a potential fake out situation over here. Candlestick body close below support. Break of the previous candle wick lows to re-break the highs to keep moving up. And then that could be like a accumulation, manipulation, distribution towards that 3,300 mark. Towards 3,300. You're going to see this. Boom. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Sometimes the market does this when it needs that extra sort of like extra orders to move in the opposite direction. Or continuation. Rather, let's say continuation. Usually when the market is trending and you have these accumulation breaks, they're usually like fake outs, like liquidity grabs to get continuation. So currently we're up like 0.50%, which is pretty good. Another sign that either on GJ and gold. Yeah, this is pretty nice so far. Still bullish. Bro, where can I learn chess online? Actually, you know, on the Discord here, we have a chess channel you can come to, and you know, there's a couple of videos over here as well. There's a couple of videos, and you can even play chess in the park. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, you can come on here and play chess. And you can get somebody, you can invite somebody on the Discord. You can create a game, you can join a game. And someone can join it here. It's pretty nice. May I know what strategy that you use? I use TFX concepts. It's just my strategy. That's the best way I can explain it. It's based off candlesticks, market psychology, and experience. If you think about it, like you wanna design your own sort of like perspective in the end, right? You can have a strategy that's profitable. You could use it, but in the end, you kind of want to. You're always gonna want to adjust some few things to make it your own. I'm a day trader more than a scalper. Any sells now would just be extremely bad, RR, and none that high quality. Yeah, any sells now on the higher time frame are looking good because you have clean range. Yeah, clean range. You know, as price was breaking below these lows, there was a 1 minute entry over there for this push. The 1 minute looks good for a retracement. But I guess again, it depends on how long you're in the market, right? If you're gonna plan on being on the market for a longer duration of time, then yeah, the sells, maybe you'd be better off in line with the market direction. Like for me personally, I would still feel good about buys here, and then have that as a fake out confluence that price can move up again. Now we can move up to fill this range. Let's see, since we got on, okay, we take a buy here. Boom. Price came down, moved up again. This could be a potential area over here. Potential fakey. $30 minutes about to close. Let's see hourly. All right, got 30-minute SMA above 30-minute SMA. We got the 15-minute SMA. We're going to be breaking above the 5-minute SMAs. It's another kind of tight range. There's more space here than there was here. But definitely still kind of tight. You'd need price to really shoot through that level. It's accumulating as well. Hey, Padlas Graham. Good morning, good morning. Too much time in that previous range high. Went to Bay. We needed this for the hourly SMA to catch up. As it was overextended. Yep. Yeah, now it should catch up. Watch, look at this. Should push up a bit. Nice. So this hourly can still even come down and retap it. Give it like a little kiss of death over here. Little kiss of death. They're gonna act like a magnet. Tap into it. Or at least get somewhat close to it. See, that hourly still doesn't have a top wick, so this would be nice. Because, you know, if this hourly does this and starts to reflip now, this SMA will be catching up a bit more and more. So when this one closes and reflips, it's going to be a kiss of death. See, now it's coming. Perfect. It's right within that area, so it could still reflip. Gonna tap into it. But the issue here is the stop loss is going to be really big. Sorry, excuse me. If you're planning on like having price to move up, the stop loss is going to be quite wide at that point. So you still need a tighter stop. How should I grow my trading channel like you? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Just come on YouTube, hit go live, and just do what you'd usually do. But I guess the only difference is you have to entertain more. Because you know, with trading, basically you're just gonna come on here, you're gonna sit down and you're just gonna wait for your setup, execute, call it a day. But just do your thing, you know. If you have value to provide, like, people will watch. Hey TFX, can I ask, my strategy works well in Gbpjpy pairs, but performs poorly on indices and other currency pairs. Does that mean I should stick to yen pairs, or the strategy is weak? I would say, like, if it works only on yen, you know, it's quite interesting, because if your strategy is based off price action, there's no reason why it should only work on yen, because there's no difference between, like, technically how yen would move from other currencies, right? Just other currencies have more volume, maybe they have slightly different psychology, but at the end of the day, structure is king. So it's quite an interesting dilemma you have. I would say stick with yen. Just stick with yen. If that's what's working for whatever reason, stick with it. But I think, you know, like, the way I look at markets, it's applicable to most currencies. You know, it's just a matter of the hit. Maybe the hit rate can go down a bit because of the different psychology that they might have. So if it's working on you on yen, yeah, stick with yen. Because, like, even though I would like to think I would have a universal approach to markets, I wouldn't be trading anything. You know, I wouldn't go and trade GBP AUD or Euro JPY. I would stick with what's working. If you want to trade yen purely, yeah, just stick with yen. For me this year, I've mainly look at what I've traded this year. All gold. This whole month, all these trades, just one pair. Gold. Last month, gold. The month before that, I had a bit of GJ. Because GJ was behaving a bit earlier on, but now not so much. Man, look at the streak here that we had. All GJ. This was all GJ. We had a 9 streak. A 9 win streak here, just trading GJ. So I'd say, like, for me, gold and GJ are quite nice, but don't be afraid to just focus on one instrument also. You've been in a short since 32.96 resistance. 32.96. Ah, nice. Can you tell me your YT journey? How much time after you get good amount of views? If you have a Lamborghini, you can start with a few thousand views already today. But this channel has existed for, I think maybe 4 years. But I never used to post a lot on it. You know, only started being a little bit more consistent in September. From September of 2023, I started being a bit more consistent. I would say just don't focus on the views. Just keep posting. Like right now, if I focus on the views, I'll be very discouraged, you know, because my account has been shadow banned and I'm getting way less views than I usually get. So I would have already just stopped doing this thing. But I like it because, you know, we build a community and, you know, it's quite fun over here to trade, build a community with you guys. And you know, I think that's the most important thing. Take a photo in front of a dealership and say you bought the shop. Just get a small loan of $1 million and I'll grow your YouTube for you to 100+K subs in the year. We can rent out a yacht in Dubai. We can get some nice models. Get a Ferrari here and there, Bugatti, some motivational advice. Easy. But if you don't have that, then you just have to provide value. There's a difference, you know? There's a difference between what you're trying to do with your channel. If you're just doing for marketing, man, we can get a private jet or a Cessna. We can buy something. You know, we can do a lot of things, and that's the fastest way to grow it. But if you provide value, it's gonna be more sustainable, and it's even can become very exponential. And you're gonna have an audience which is more it's gonna be a better audience than people who just chase money. People who chase money, they're gonna be here today, be gone tomorrow, over to the next shiny thing, you know. Starting to break below this next support. Let's see how big this range is actually. Break of these lows. Up above this area. Oh, that's a pretty nice range as well. That's a pretty nice sell. Price is down now 0.34% there on the daily. There's only been one swing entry model. Here's a second one coming in. Gotta buy here, and then yeah, this would be the second one here. What to do? I was thinking maybe like a risk management type of model one. But that would be the second entry. Damn, candlestick came down really heavy. That candle still does not have a top wick on the hourly. Got about this a new hourly open here. Still no top wick. Was price waiting for me? How nice. Oh, dumping heavy. This candle is like, how many pips? How many pips have we done on this hourly? 60, 70 pips? What's the chance that it comes back up and creates a top wick there, chat? What's the probability that this pulls back up towards a 32.89 for that top wick? It just opened right now. Big price has overextended. This is now the correction. True. Send $20 and I'll flip it into 20 million. That way you have more marketing capital. Yeah, you know, that's the thing about even marketing. There's so many programs out there. If you're trying to get away from the Google, even if you think about the Google ecosystem, you know, and how they take everybody's data and, you know, all these services, there's always like third-party companies that you could use, which are even better than Google. But the problem is they don't have $1 billion marketing budget. Yeah, I think like that's the thing with marketing. If you don't have good marketing, it doesn't matter how good your service or product is, people won't buy it. You know, unless they start to really see value from it, and it just grows organically. So that's why you see most people in trading, that's why they'll rather do like a cheat code or a shortcut to like show stuff. But I don't like to show stuff. Like I feel like when you show stuff, it doesn't make you feel good as a person. I don't know what it is about that. That's just my character. I'm not one to show things off. But it is a cheat code. Sometimes I want to do it. Sometimes I really want to do it. But I'm happy I don't at the end of the night. I don't think you can gain too much from it. If this channel grows, it grows based off organic value. That's me too. I don't even like, if think about ICT, for example. He doesn't show anything, you know. You don't know what car he drives, you don't know what house he lives in, but man, one of the biggest channels because of just the amount of value he provides. That's me too. I don't even have an Instagram. Show off is not for me. You must remain focused. What is this? Done. Danzo Peranzo. Hourly no top wick. Yes, sir. Johnny, there's no promo codes.
We don't do that here.
Tetra, do you need clippers? Yes. Yeah, I do. I do. If you go on my Instagram, you're gonna be able to. There's a link there that you can use. It's called for clips. Just go on my profile and click on the link on my profile. Yeah, I need clippers. I just had to remove the link from YouTube. You know, I don't want any problems with YouTube. Because you know what? YouTube can look at that and they're gonna say something like, "Oh, you're buying views," or you're buying likes or something like that. Which in essence, it's not the case. You know, it's not the case. But yeah, I just don't want to deal with the YouTube bureaucracy. This is why I moved from this is why I moved away from first world countries. It's just to avoid the bureaucracy. I keep thinking you mean hair clippers. No, it's just YouTube clippers. Clip the stream. This is actually kind of distributing still quite nicely there. I was hoping to get like some sort of risk management because I didn't trust the hourly no top wick so much. Because I'd have to push up about 70, 78 pips to create the top wick on the hourly. You took sells, made 500 bucks. So nice one, Lubab. There's a sniper entry. Waiting for price to hit the red line, but RSI and stock D must be also oversold. As this month's candle closes, there's nice volume A. Wish I wasn't at work to capitalize off of it. Yeah, exactly. There's so much volume here. Got freaky Monday, candlesticks pulling up and down. It's quite nice. What time is it now? 5:17. Yeah, this is still a time I'm expecting a move to happen. This would probably be the last move for a for this session. Now we're gonna go into pre-New York. I always consider like pre-New York a little bit separate from the London Open from this time here, as I actually expect price to move slightly differently after London opens for 2 hours. No, 3 hours. Freaky Monday, yes. You know, I was contemplating a buy because that no top wick area there looks quite interesting. You know, if we could get some form of structure. But at the same time, you know, the confusing part is the sells are still active though. So I'll be going basically against myself. Maybe if price did this and somehow created some structure somewhere here, then I could use that as a continuation. Mark my words, Vic, we're bullish from here out. I took a buy on NZD, USD, and gold. It's starting to shift on the 1 minute. It's accumulating nicely over here. That's an accumulation breakout. This would be like a consolidation play. This would be a consolidation play. What's Goldie gonna do? Oh, close like a bearish doji. Oh, what a horrible close this was. Because on my broker, that's registering like a bullish doji. What a horrible closure. Taking the same trade? Oh, you took a buy here. Yeah, there's a probability for a buy there to play out. Wow, crazy. And if it actually re-breaks these highs. Wait, let me see from 40, 24, 25, 26. Yeah, it's something interesting. It's like almost rejecting this area here. Looks like it might pull back, but let's see what happens. Because see, from this first entry here, it came close to that that 50.50 mark, point 50 RR, and then it reversed. And it's kind of like doing something similar over here. So if it comes down back into the entries, that's going to be quite interesting. Because that means it's not giving like it's not giving proper follow throughs. So like here it's not giving a proper follow through, and also here, although you got the break, it's not giving like a proper follow through. So let's see what this candlestick here does. Can they survive? Oh yeah, it actually spiked through it. Holy, that was fast. That's the accumulation breakout situation that's happening here. Did that hourly really reflip? We got about 37 minutes left on the hourly. Still no top wick over there. You got a BE? How'd that happen? It didn't even pull. I don't think it even pulled down towards that region. Came pretty close to it, but it didn't hit it. Nice pullback. I think gold will continue to fall until it hits the 1 hour FEG around 32.73. A pretty nice release here. Did anybody take it? Ricardo or Luke said this could be setting up for a buy. They got, yeah, it would be a great bearish candle. Big rejection from the bottom into a swing model up. You took it off for 1 minute? All right, nice. Yeah, but I am out just now. I feel like I would have pulled the trigger if I felt a bit more confident about this close. It's kind of like I'm trying to outsmart the market a bit here too much. Because I can see this position here is still open. This trade could probably cut their risk in half if it starts to move down. Leke. Alright, nice. Let's see you close. You can't write all capitals. I closed 1 minute under MA 400. It's a good feeling, right? To get your exits right when price starts to reverse. Feel like you kind of robbed the market there. Do you think price will do the same thing on a demo if you're using high leverage? I don't think it would be the same as market. I'm not sure. That top hook isn't too far away now. It's only about like 22.7 pips. But what I'm finding more interesting is the risk management on this first position here. Oh, damn it. That was way too quick. I don't think I could have executed on that. Oh, man. They had a really nice risk management over there. Damn, look at that 1 minute though. Got the kiss of death in there as well. Yeah, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, that would have been TP right here for me. Just a reminder, NFP will be 1 day early this week due to a public holiday. And oh yeah, thank you for the reminder, Wardy. I think this is just a retracement to clear the full range down. Crazy. Just a complete dump here. Holy. Kind of feel a bit of FOMO for that one. You glad you didn't hold your trade? Damn. Yeah, the buys also played out quite nicely though. The buys still would have been a good trade. Secured some profits or even got a break even from the first. The buys over there. Yeah, the sells also played out. There's still the sells which were in flow. Over here. Just, oh my days. Holy. I already got my lot size and everything. I was already ready. I should have just probably executed. I kind of wanted to see these lows get broken though. That's what I was waiting for. Pips get slaughtered. Is London the best time for trading gold? Yes. London's the best time for trading gold. One hour is still pushing quite nicely there. See, you might think it's overextended, that it can't push anymore, but look at this. It just keeps moving. Yeah, I mean, very risky this is. But it's filled up the range. That was the main thing that we're expecting price was to move from here down towards that support. So from point A down towards a point B section over here. And it did quite nice, you know. It did a small little break, a retest. Continuation to the downside. Yeah, so far all the swing entry models kind of like relatively played out here. It might be dumping because NQ is breaking highs. It's complete shift. Got 25 minutes still pre-New York. But the way the volume came in was actually quite unexpected. The only thing I can say is what was looking good there was that kiss of death. As to why the candlestick could have behaved the way it did. So if you see the way it was coming down. Oh, we don't have those bars yet. But we have a kiss of death situation happen right over here. That was a really strong one. Also on the 1 minute, it seems that we had one too. Price went up, tapped into it. And then that's what the candle there flipped 24 pips. Really fast. I practiced last afternoon the software FX. Normal for this spots. But after 10 pips, it's risk. But the small retracements are normal. And GJ not doing anything as per usual. Oh well. Which SMAs am I using? This 50 and 8 SMA. You can download it. Links in the description. That's the thing, like, you never forget about the previous trades. Although the next new shiny thing might be looking a lot more nicer. Oh, there's a new shiny thing here. This was a buy setup. Don't forget about the old thing, which is still playing out. Yeah, that was the bottom of the range. We just tapped like 30-minute support, 1 hour support region. So it makes sense also with that buy that you took here, Ricardo, that we got such a reaction. That was a quick sniper in and out. But the push was quite a big push. From here to here, that's about like 20 pips. Pretty much what we're expecting from price. Once it hits from point A to point B, classic reaction. Let's see, from here to here, we got 65%. Yes, of course. So remember, guys, this is the end of Q3. So that's why we're getting a lot of volume as well. We got 11 hours, 21 minutes for the candlestick here to close. I think I'm gonna end off my June over here. All right, June, it's been a good month. We enjoyed you. A lot of character building this month. You know, but it was a fun month. How many trades did I take this month? Whoa, 34. 34 trades. 34 trades. All right, let's see what July has to say now. I gotta move over to the next month. I think July should be good. Last year, July increased for me back to normal. Again, hopefully I can get on a streak like this. Last year, July 16 nubs. That was nice. I think the longest streak this month was like 5. Very hard in the beginning though. My June was quite bumpy in the start. Took a few clusters of bad trades over here. Ooh, especially this region. This was in the first week. In the first week of June, actually even up till the second week. This is up till the second week here. Ooh, that was character building. That was character building. But we must just execute. We must just keep executing. That's all you can do. All right, so rinse and repeat, boys. July and for the rest of the year. I believe that's how the markets are just going to remain for the rest of the year. Would have been nice to catch this little last one over here. This little last banger. Catch a sell, but it is what it is. All big profits. Which SMA using? Already answered that. Just keep swimming. Yes, sir. If price is moving slowly, it's risky to take this. The price needs to be really overextended into a zone. Yeah, I understand the psychology behind that. But anyway, guys, I think I'm going to end off the stream here. You know, it's the end of the quarter anyway, so gonna come back from tomorrow. business as usual. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed or found some value in the stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the London Open. Adios.
No time for this slip, homie. Now we bout to dip.